Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. I'm Charlie Perry, and we were on a little later today, but I didn't have any guests, but I decided to come on because in the Northeast it is a snow day. Yeah, breaking records all over the place, The the snow came down in the last 24 hours and boy did it come down. Snow everywhere. Um So everyone's kind of in the house. There's a few fools out there driving around, which I don't understand why you would play with Mother Nature, right? Why would you why would you go out on a snow day when you really don't when you look at it, you say, I didn't need to go out. Something, very minute that you could have probably just said, hey, I'll do it tomorrow or the next day. It's not important. And some people just don't get they just think they can just go on the road and do their thing and drive like they normally do. And um there's one thing, you are slightly in control of your car. But when it starts sliding or someone starts sliding into you, um there's not too much control you have. And so you get in an accident. I mean, why don't you just save yourself some problems? Um Just leave your car where it's parked, right? And just get a bat and just swing it on the side of your car. Just put a big dent in it. Break break the window. Do anything. Just do it. Because when you go out in the snow, things like that happen. And your car gets damaged. And when you kindly think about it during the accident, you say, man, why did I go out? Was it worth it? So people in the cities and towns across the country, they give you alerts and warnings, um, even on the radio, podcasting. People tell you, hey, if you're out early, watch out for black ice. Or if you're, in a state with a lot of heat, and they warn you about heat waves and hurricanes and everything else, and that they're warning you for a reason. And everybody wants to just try. They just want to try the situation, right? So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, I was cleaning up my vehicle, me and the wife, and cleaning the vehicle, and all we're doing is taking the snow from off our vehicle along the side of it and putting it wherever we can, and going across the street and putting it on the side of the road was the best location for everybody. So that's what everyone was pretty much doing. Um, and we stood out there for quite a few hours. The crazy thing is that, what took up a lot of my time is people on the road coming up and down the road, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Where are you going? Where are you going? Things are closed. I can understand if you're a mandated reporter, worker, and working at the hospital, police, fire, um, things like that. I can understand that. You got to get to work. But those people are already at work, right? They're already at work. So you see everybody else. Now, mind you, I know there's different things going on, people trying to make a hustle, and well, you know who they are because they're in a truck with a snow plow, um or snow blower, or there's there's things on their vehicles that tell you what they're doing, right? They're trying to help people or make things safe, whether they own property, whether they're going to clear out a relative or friend, but they're doing the right thing. And those are the people that mainly understand the climate, right? Mainly understand the weather forecast. So they know what they're doing. They're taking their time. They're getting to wherever they're going, and that's it. But it's the person that's just riding around, you know, not doing anything, just cruising. I'm gonna go to Walmart, go check out the sales. I'm gonna go do this, or um, I don't get it. I totally don't get it. But that's me. And so it was a snow day, and so most of the part I can understand, like, people getting out there and doing their thing. I grew up in a very cooperative and caring neighborhood, right? What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? How's things, man? How's the radio show? What's going on, man? So the biggest problem is where to put the snow in the cities. Yep, got it. Let the workers do their jobs. Absolutely. And have to be patient in the city. Exactly. So I totally agree with you. And you definitely know what you're talking about, right? So this is now, mind you, I'm a kid that played with the snow in 1978. So I knew how crazy it was. And they say this was worse, and I can understand that a little bit, as far as the total amount of snow hitting the ground. But 1978 was a different time. The equipment wasn't as good as it is today. And I just don't, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was worse, but as far as record rise wise, yeah, you got the record and go, 2026. I get it, but there's something about 1978. That was I remember a lot of things, and especially within this city, it was a lot of power out, different things, and I don't see that as much in 2026. Other than the towns, but as far as this city, I think they they're for some reason you don't see that as much. All right, so State of the Union tonight, and well, the only thing I got to say is State of the Union is what it is. It's not unified. Countries going in all kinds of different directions. So, um, as much as patriotic and American I am, I'm just not going to watch it. I like what I do like is some of the things. What's going on? What's going on, Enid? I see you, Beverly. What's going on? Beverly says, I think we got more snow, but 1978 they didn't have warnings. Yep, it fell all at once. Then a few days later, more, and people died. So we need to be thankful for we had warnings to help prepare. So yes, we need patience. So true. Yeah, actually, I do. Yeah, that wasn't that kind of hit us like a punch in the face, right? 1978 was crazy. But we do have a lot of warnings, and I think remember the big horn? Remember the big horn that used to hit the city? The big fire, civic, was a civic horn or fire department used to blow it. It was right at School Street and not School Street. The School Street. It was, yeah, it was School Street. big yellow horn thing. You heard that thing from everywhere in the city. It was crazy. So that was our warning. Now we get calls. We get phone calls. Uh, yeah, you talked about the horn. Yeah, I used to. That was that was much better than an alarm clock, man. When that thing went off, man, we were happy. No school, but ain't it nice to hear from you? And I just want to say hello and stay warm. But yeah, that horn was crazy. Beverly, I also want to say my deepest sympathies for your brother-in-law. So sorry. Crazy. That's right, everyone. We tomorrow isn't promised, so live today like it's your last. At least just smile about it. Show some love to the next person. It's crazy. Butch the Barrows. Hey, you know what? This is what I like. You know, this dude is just instigating about living in Florida, right? I seen your pictures, you, Ronnie. Uh, I seen you. I seen you. I seen y'all. But you know what? Take that Florida weather and enjoy the sun. Watch out that a gator don't bite your ass, and so be it. You know, it's nice. It's nice that you're in sunny Florida. I understand that, but everyone, I just want to put it out there. Butch Barrows tans with no tan. He tans with no tan lines. So he got no tan lines. So you know what he does. He's a streaker in Florida. I'm only joking. Mm. Stay safe, Butch. I know you love it down there. Probably waxing that Corvette, doing your thing. You want me to do the horn again? I ain't doing that. Listen, Danny, you know how it sound. You know how it sound, brother. Yes, thank you, Bev. That I am definitely gonna be there for the services. I believe it was March 7th. I will be there. And Beverly says, "Hey, ask Butch what the temperature was in Florida the last 2 days." It's true. Yeah, he was freezing his butt off, right? Probably had a hoodie on and probably broke out one of his old fire department coats just to stay warm. You know, that's one thing. At least we can stand the temperatures, right? They go down to Florida and live down there and you know, get 68, they're crying. What's up, Chris? I see you. Chrissy says, "Hi, Charlie. Glad you're safe in here." And she says, "Hi, Enid." Yes. Yeah, we had a day off today, and looks like we're going to have one or two more. So, because guess what? As safe as we are as drivers in and out of the area, you know what? The roads are still not safe, even for good drivers like us. So, got to take some days off and make sure things are right because we are not driving just ourselves. We are driving other people's kids, and we got to make sure that they're safe. Um, so I wanted to come on here and only because I want to hang out with you guys. This is something I love doing is podcasting. Just started doing TikTok live. I'm gonna start doing that. Probably I'll do another one tomorrow. I'm gonna do that more frequently. I should have it on right now, and this would actually be a great TikTok live. But I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and so feel free if you have TikTok, come join me. Get in a conversation. I bring up whatever, and that's it. Flip Best says, we still had to walk to school back in 1978, and we had a day or two off. Yes, yes. We had a few days off, I think. Not like these kids today. Yeah, it's true. We talk about that all the time, how the school department will give these kids a snow day quickly. Um, and how do we rely on weathermen and weather women that, are getting the story wrong all the time? Not all the time, but most of the time. Um, Nathan Victor says Mini Coopers in the snow. Yeah, Mini Coopers in the snow is straight dumb. Exactly. Can't see it. Don't drive right. Even though it's a European car, right, made by BMW, I had one, so I know, and it's just not going to handle here. Um, the snow is too high, too heavy, and it's just not something you should do. Um, what you say, Butch? What you say, Butch? The only thing, this snow, um, the only thing is no snow. Still love you, brother. See you soon after the snow. Yeah, can't wait to see you. Um, Butch was a child abuser. He used to abuse me all the time. Throw me in the air, tell me that maple leaves were part of my afro because they were trying to throw me in the trees, man. And I would always have a leaf in my hair. There's a reason why myself and Kevin Perry are like we are. The reason There's reasons why we are who we are, and so if you think we're cuckoo and crazy, and guess what? It's because of guys like Butch Barrows, Charlie DePina, Bruce Rose, Dennis Rose, Anton Rose, and it just goes on. You know, those were the guys that used to mess with us in the Bay Village, and we were like toys. Punching bags, and so craziest thing is, I thank those guys for doing it because as I grew up, I knew they were some great, great dudes. And guess what? We were young boys, but we didn't care. We started trouble with anybody. Me and Kevin, we didn't have a problem with that. We didn't care how old you was. What are you gonna do? Tell my mother? You're gonna tell my mother? But guess what? Yeah, we get it. We get it. But Bay Village, I wouldn't trade the Bay Village upbringing for nothing in the world. You could put me anywhere. I truly, truly enjoyed it. And that's one thing about the city of New Bedford is that if you grew up in the housing projects, you have some great experiences and great experiences that last a lifetime, right? And I was never bored in the Bay Village, never. And then when I ventured off and took off to whether it be United Front, West Lawn Projects, Blue Meadows, wherever it may be, take a trip up to Evergreen, play those guys in some football or whatever. It was there was never a boring day. You know, you got us 70s and 80s kids knew what to do. We had fun, and and it was good. All right, Chrissy, we were raised tough, walked everywhere, all weather. So true. Yeah, we we sound like like all these sitcoms how they dog the old timers talking about. I used to walk 5 miles to school. You know what? Guess what we did? You know. Um. So how about a Tesla in the snow? Yeah, we no, that's not good. I don't think so. Craig, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? I hope all is well with you and the family. Good, good thing. Chrissy says her landlord was stuck. He's stuck at home with his Tesla. Brick and wood was a blast. Yeah, there was just so much things. I mean, we're fortunate. Yeah, all that money and they're not reliable. So true. I don't know. I don't know. There's just so many other vehicles out there that spend all that money. But some people like that. It's sort of like, some people like an iPhone compared to an Android, and they wouldn't do anything else but have that iPhone. It's just a taste. It's a certain taste for certain things, and some people like the electronic vehicles like Tesla, and but nah, it's not my cup of tea. Like the smell of the gas and oil, and you know, just like the electronically, I wouldn't know what to do. If something happens, and you got to learn it. But guess what? At my age, I ain't trying to learn a new vehicle and what I need to do. So, but so what's on your mind, everybody? What's going on? Craig says he spent a lot of time in a Bay Village and satellite as a kid. 80s baby, always found something to do. We did, there was nothing. I mean, remember the games like TV tag and uh TV tag, you had kick the can, you had release, uh hide and go seek. There's just so many, so many, so many things. Um all the games that we played, and let's face it, in most of the neighborhoods we always had a park to go to that was just close by. Remember shoveling the snow, the basketball courts, playing with those orange bricks, as I used to call them. The basketballs were orange, and you just it felt like ice cubes. Ron says, "Brother, glad you made it through the snow apocalypse 2026." So true. I'm glad you're safe as you're here. You just had a birthday. How's it feel to be 30 years old, man? Ron, 30 years old, doing his thing. Um, you know, I don't know if he's still singing, but I met a great singer today, Sweet Al, this week, past week. Love the dude. He's definitely got a nice voice, and can sing some songs, man. Hopefully, you can bring him back to the area. And he has family in the Cape, family in New Bedford, family in Boston. So, but we should try to get him on board in one of these clubs and sing for a few hours. Chrissy says we were born in the 60s, live in the toughest time. 70s were a time for a change, but nothing creates a great life better than tough upbringing. When life was also so fun, red light, kick the can, so many. Yes, our hoods were safe. Yeah, we kind of protected each other. There was a an adult everywhere that you could see, whether they were doing their thing, putting out some clothes, or hanging out, or just hanging out with another mom, or there was plenty of adults hanging out. You know what? It's the neighborhoods were the neighborhoods, because, and you really didn't need to go anywhere else, right? Walk up the street a few blocks, go get whatever you're getting. If you were older, you were gonna go get a bottle and go kind of hang out on the corner somewhere. Um, if you wanted to play a game, you played a game and you hung out. Some parents will look out for you and see that if the kids are playing, hanging out all day in front of the house or certain houses, sometimes they came out, say you guys want something to eat, even if it's something little, a little snack, whether it's fruit, cookies, whatever, candy, whatever. It was something we all kept an eye on each other. In some cases, in the summer, we had the icy guy coming out. We had the pony boy, which is the ice cream man and the ice cream truck, you know, and that was good. Yeah, this is Flip said it right. We were poor and we didn't even know it. Um, and I get it. Get it. We were definitely that, and but we were never hungry. If mom was doing her thing and I'd grab a part-time job here or there, and we had to eat. We had our aunts. We had my aunt down the street. Down the other section. My grandmother was close by. So and if it was time for certain people to go in to eat, and you was with your friend, most mothers and parents and back then, "Hey, you hungry?" And they just fed us. Kids today can't do anything, and what's that? Can't do anything, yeah, unless money's involved. It's so true. I don't get it. Always about the hustle and won't work until it won't work if they're getting minimum wage or a little bit or more, and got to start somewhere. Oh, I can make this doing that hustling. Guess what? Hustling is not going to get you. Hustling will get you a case. Hustling will get you a case. Then you will need a lawyer, and it's just all those things. And don't say that you got the game. You know what you're doing. You're not going to get caught, regardless of how good you think you are. There's people out there that will tell on you. And so your game gets broken up, and now you got to go see a judge. Guess what? Just get a regular job, do your thing, get a trade. You sacrifice for 1 or 2 years and get a trade, and then boom, you got steady work. Buy a little pickup truck, a van, and you can do your own work, you know, make your own money, set your own prices. Chrissy says we were rich in ways our kids and grandkids would never understand. So true. Respect, respect, respect was expected, or you had got an ass whooping. Yeah, yep. What's up, Anthony Black? How you doing? Hopefully you're snow free up your way. I hope so. Um, Anthony, I love you, bro. Keep up the good work. Keep playing that music. Keep doing your thing. Hey, Anthony, I was on iHeart. I applied for a radio station. I applied for a job as a DJ, and it didn't work out, brother. But I did put in for it, and the best thing about it is that I lived and learned. Definitely got recommended to go to a few other stations on iHeart, so I'm gonna do that, and so maybe you hear me on the airways, but I'm still trying. It's one thing I like, being behind the mic and behind this camera, and and playing some good music. All right. So it's 8:32. I will stay on for a few moments and chit chat. I want to bring up once again that I'll be on TikTok live every few days. Got to do that as a creator. I'm starting to do things. Thanks to my little sister Rhonda, getting me involved in that and trying to get me to create more on TikTok. So I'm doing that. I'm definitely want to do more of that. Love you, Charlie. Charlie, see you at work. Be safe and good night. Yes, Chrissy, I'll see you. Be safe. Um, looks like work. I'll probably see you in another day or so. Um, I don't think we're due to come in tomorrow, from what I understand. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna start doing a little TikTok. So Rhonda got me involved in that. So be more creative on TikTok, bringing up different things. Enjoyed the last TikTok live. It was awesome interacting with different people. Um, Getting all those little emojis and all that stuff, and likes, and just doing what I do here, right? Doing the same exact thing, and so just trying to bring it to TikTok, and um, financially they pay you. It's if you're doing the right thing and you're creating, that's where you go. That's where you go. All right. So tomorrow, right now, it's up in the air whether we have a show down at Honeydew, chopping it up at Honeydew at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna see what happens. You know, um, I like to have the show, but if not, I'll be on later on that evening, tomorrow evening, where Marvin Speller with "Sometimes You Have to Lose Yourself," where we talk about love and grief. We have that coming on. That's every week on Wednesdays. Um, and tomorrow morning, actually, I forgot. Steve Berg was supposed to stop by Honeydew, and we're gonna have to put him on the airwaves. Um, Next week on Chopping Up or Honeydew, we will have Waleem, the Funky Professor, will be on next week. Um, Next Tuesday on the Really Charlie podcast, we have Dr. Heather Larkin. We have her on. I can't wait. She's doing some great things with. She's always done. Right. Heather Larkin has done so many things with kids. She was always, I always, since the first day I met her, I always knew that she was always involved with kids and doing their best and doing what was best for their interest. She was always there. You would always see her. She had that knack that everyone trusted her. The kids trusted her, and so you've seen that. And she's been doing it a long, long time. She went on and being an administrator, and now she got her own little business and her little program. It's not a little program; it's a great program. It talks about the um, capacity of children and teenage athletes and all that. So I like that, and I can't wait to have her on next week, next Tuesday. Let's see who else is coming up. Uh, Trying to work on another person. Now that the high school basketball season, in some cases, has stopped, so I will get to interview a coach, local coach. I can't wait to get him on. There's a few other things. Um, some authors that wrote some children's books. I have those people coming up. So it's nonstop on the Really Charlie podcast. Just trying to get people on, highlight them, give them their flowers while they're standing. Um, and that's what I'm doing. You can find me here on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, um, Substack. I'm trying to get whatever I can and add some podcasts to Substack. Um, as I do, as I download them, I put them on that site. Substack's a good site. I kind of like it, like the independent journalism that is there, and all the people are truly putting out a lot of content, especially when we listening to media outlets that are just hiding so many things. So, it's good to have these independent journalists and programs and podcasts to put out stuff out there, and like I try to do. Um, and so Substack is good. Check it out. Um, Please go to YouTube, like and subscribe to the Really Charlie podcast channel. And also, sometimes you have to lose yourself. Podcast with myself and Marvin Speller, the author of Unpacking Grief, Shattered to Onward, which is on Amazon. All right, y'all. I will see you. Have a good night. Bonne nuit. God bless. I will see you guys tomorrow sometime here on Facebook. One of the podcasts will be on here. And just check me out. Add a few comments. I truly, truly appreciate all the fabulous comments tonight. We kind of went back in history, and had a flashback, had a reflection on what we love. And our childhoods were great. And make sure that you make your children or your grandchildren's childhood just as great. Keep an eye on them. Always, always watch out for them. And get them involved in a lot of things within school, within the neighborhoods, and keep them busy. Keep them busy, busy, busy. And I want to give a shout out to Kaya. Kaya, my granddaughter, she had a fabulous story that she wrote, and she shared it with her papa today. And man, I truly, truly love that story. So we're gonna see what happens with it. She's got a school contest, and but it was a great, great story. So, all right, everyone, I will see you later. And Chrissy, what's up? Hello, my friend. Good night. You need to text me. Yes, I will. I will when you are on crazy hours time. Oh, yes, I will. I'll do that. I'll check it out. So I'm gonna go ahead, download this program, add it to the different social medias, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow night I have another podcast, and I'll see you then. All right, take care and stay safe, stay warm, and I'll talk to you later. All right.